Hi guys, I finally finished reading North and South by Elizabeth Gaskell. I started this book in February and really struggled to get into it to begin with, and had to put it away for a while. And I finally read the last three-fourths of this book in like a week. So I think just a matter of needing to read it at the right moment. So the book was published in the 1850s by Elizabeth Gaskell, and it focuses on the Industrial Revolution in England and the changes that the Industrial Revolution brought and the differences between southern countryside, like a lot of rural farming areas, versus the northern industrial towns. And we also do get to see a little bit of London life. London life is its own little sphere of craziness and things that happen that seem somewhat disconnected from either of those worlds. So the main character of the story is Margaret Hale, and her father was a vicar, but he gave up his preaching job for like a matter of conscience. He didn't agree with the church at the time. So he moves his family to the northern town of Milton, and he starts privately tutoring some of the gentlemen in Milton. And his favorite student is Mr. Thornton, who owns one of the largest cotton mills, and so Margaret and her family get to know the Thorntons really well. Margaret also makes friends in Milton with the Higgins family, who are a lower class working family, and she gets to see both sides of the mills and how the town functions and operates, and really gets to see the differences between an industrial city versus the rural South. I love the romance between Margaret and Mr. Thornton and the misunderstandings that happen between them and the cultural differences and how they need to adjust and get to know each other. They are both pretty strong willed characters who are easily offended, and it takes them a while to adjust to the other's way of doing things and their manners. So I really like the characters in this book. They're really vivid. The imagery and the differences between the two are painted beautifully. I love the way the setting is described in this book and the way that the two different towns have their own feels. So on the whole, I love this book, and you should go check it out if you haven't already. And this is going to end the spoilery free part of my video because I also want to talk about some of the things that specifically happened in this. So yeah, if you don't want to know how the story ends and some of the bigger points, then you might want to stop watching and go read the book or watch the miniseries based off of it. Like there's a BBC miniseries that is amazing and I love it. It has Richard Armitage in it, and yeah. Okay, so spoilery bit. Yeah, so my mom died a few months ago, which is one of the reasons why I had to put the book away because Margaret's mom dies. But it also helped, I think, to come back to it a few months later when I had adjusted a bit. But to see the way that Elizabeth Gaskell describes that grief and what that is like really resonated with me. So I feel like this book, if I had read it before or if I were reading it years later, it wouldn't resonate the same way it does now, currently. Um, just the whole like bubble of what's happening at the time, and there are certain things that need to be taken care of, like funeral arrangements and not getting to grieve right away, or everybody in the book grieves differently. There are more, like it's more than just Margaret's mom dies. Like so many people die in these books. There are like five or six semi-major deaths in this book, and getting to see how each of the characters respond to them and what a difference somebody's like being gone can make in your life and how they all react differently. Um, I think the part that resonated the most with me was how she is so glad to see her brother Frederick because he is the only other person who can understand exactly what she's feeling. And that is pretty much how I felt when both my parents died. Was like, I need to be with my siblings because they are the only ones who know the good and the bad things about family life and what we're going through. So yeah, that is the part that resonated the best with me. And Elizabeth Gaskell does such a great job of describing all the little things in life. So not just like how relationships play out between parents and children. There is my book review for North and South by Elizabeth Gaskell. Let me know in the comments if you've read it or are planning on reading it and what you thought of it. Yeah. So I love you guys. Peace out and keep reading. Bye.